Hi, I'm Maria Ray, and I am going to do a mock demonstration of a counseling session using the decision counseling method, including all five stages of empathetic relationships, story and strength, goals, restory, and action. The person I'm interviewing today is Althea Alexander, and we'll begin now. Hi, Althea.
Hi. Excuse me. Hi. How are
So,
you?
how you doing?
I'm okay.
Yeah, just okay.
Just okay.
Just okay. Let's talk about it. How's it been going?
Um, it's been going okay. I feel like I am struggling
Mhm.
with truly, fully forgiving um a family member.
Mhm.
Um, am I able to just kind of tell you the scenario of what's
Absolutely.
going on? Okay.
Yeah, go
So, a while ago, um, this family member called and asked if they can come over, to spend some time, which was fine because I genuinely at that time loved being around the person. And so at that time, though, I was going through some things within my household, but I figured this would be a nice break, per se. So the family member came over. Um, Family member got a gist, I suppose, of what was going on. And that person was also going through their own things. And I feel like there was a great projection of whatever that person was going through um, put on to my situation as well. And so within um, the span of the visit, at the end of the visit, there was like a big blowout per se. I didn't necessarily participate in it, but they were like yelling and belittling and being just really disrespectful in how they were relaying their feelings of what was going on. Although there was only one side of the story that the person kind of really knew, right? So after that, the person left, and as I sat and I really thought about the situation, I understood some of what was being said, but I didn't appreciate the way in which it was relayed, the tone that it was relayed in, the amount of disrespect and belittling that was um, taking place within the conversation, and the fact that the person still has not apologized for how they dealt with that situation. I felt like boundaries were definitely crossed, and it was none of the person's business really to really inject themselves in what was going on within my household. And so for me, I would say, yeah, I forgive the person, but I don't think I truly have forgiven the person because when I think about it, I get really angry um, when I think about it. And so just trying to work through how to let it go, really, like truly let it all go so it wouldn't really affect me anymore. Is
Wow.
where I'm at right now.
Okay. So, I'm first of all very sorry that you had to go through this, especially with the family member, because um, going through very difficult situations, especially within the household with a family member, is very difficult. And because we've had recent sessions, I know that your family is small. So, having to go through something so hard with a family member is extremely difficult. So, I do understand how that can also add to the anger and the emotional weight that you're carrying. And what I'm hearing is that you feel like you've been disrespected. You've not been able to empathize with the person. So that brings on a whole nother level of anger and resentment. And it also sounds like this person has crossed numerous boundaries, and you're just trying to process all of it while trying to issue forgiveness. Is that right?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's where I'm at.
So, have you been able to talk to this person about how all of this has made you to feel?
No, honestly, I actually initiated or tried to initiate a conversation where I apologized for something that I really shouldn't apologize for. And the person never responded, but the person messaged me and said that they're done, pretty much. Like they don't want anything else to do with me. And that was fine. I mean, if that's how you feel, that's fine. But my problem or my my issue is you still didn't apologize for what you did. So you really felt like what you did was just and everything you said was right. And what you did was, within the boundaries of what you were supposed to do when it wasn't. You really, the way you chose to handle the situation was disrespectful. And that's where I just don't like being disrespected. It irritates my soul. And so, yeah, that's what really bothers me, is that you disrespect me, you thought it was okay, and you feel like, okay, I can just move on and just let you be, which is fine. So I'm just trying to move on without that apology, because I know it probably never will come. And so I'm just trying to move on beyond the anger without the apology.
Okay. So what would you say is causing the most is causing your anger? Is it the disrespect? Is it what was done personally? Is it the lack of empathy? Is it the lack of apology? What's causing your anger? Have you been able to identify what angers you about the whole situation the most?
I think it's all of it, but most of it is the majority of it is that you chose to disrespect me, and we were supposed to be close, but you disrespected me and felt like it was okay. And that's what really, the belittling and the disrespect is what really pisses me off.
So tell me about the belittling. How did the person belittle you?
Just the way that they chose to speak to me. It was just like they were like I was a child. Like, speak up louder so I can hear you, or say it again. And so that was like, wait a minute, like, I'm an adult, don't speak to me like that. So just that you chose to belittle me further, um, added to the disrespect that you were already issuing. You know what I mean? So that's 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 what really made me angry, is that you belittled me and then you continue to be disrespectful. And I could have lashed back at you, but I didn't. I just sat there and kind of listened, because I don't want to. A yelling match to me is not like getting anything across. It's not solving the issue. And so I'm going to just sit there and let you yell. I'm not going to yell back with you. But if you choose to come down to a space where we can actually have a conversation, yeah, we can do that. But if you choose to yell and raise your tone and all that, then I really don't have anything else to say. And that's where I was. And I think that made the person even more angry, is that I wasn't responding the way that they wanted me to. And so the disrespect continued.
Mhm. So have you ever had a situation with this person like this before, or is this the first time?
No, this was the first time.
So generally, when you're in a situation where you're feeling disrespected or someone's yelling at you, what is your mode? How do you cope in that moment?
Typically, I shut down. I'll just not say anything, right? Because I don't like to be yelled at. I feel like, why are you yelling?
Mhm.
You can just speak as, like, have a normal conversation, but when you start to yell, it's like I just shut down. So I hear you, but I don't hear you, because we're not discussing anything. You're just yelling. So typically, I will just shut down.
So have you thought about what you could do in this situation if you're ever in that situation again? Someone's yelling at you, belittling you, and disrespecting you. What can you do, right, to begin to cope with that? Because the reason why you're feeling so angry and you're feeling so upset and you're hurt is because you allowed someone else to cross the line or cross the boundary line of what you would tolerate, and it ultimately shut you down. So therefore, nothing gets resolved. You try to go to the person, that person shuts you down and closes the door without any regard to how you felt or how they made you feel in the situation. So I want to backtrack a little. In those moments, this may have been the first account with her, but have you been in a situation like that before where that has happened, and how did you respond then?
Yeah. Um, and I think, like I told you before, like, usually when people begin to yell, I'll just take a step back and shut down. I'll listen, but I typically won't say too much, because I feel like if you're in this space where you're already amped up, we're not gonna be able to have a productive conversation to where we resolve whatever the issue is. And so I'll wait until um the vibe is a little bit more calm, and then I'll come back and speak to you about it. But I've been in a situation where yelling has been um going on, and I'll just shut down, like I said. And then I'll come back later on and we can discuss it again if you choose to talk to me at that time. But if you don't, that's fine too. And I'll just tell you how I feel about the situation, and then we can deal with it from there or not deal with it from there.
Okay. So, in your attempt to talk about the situation once you've calmed down, that method didn't work because she wasn't able to hear everything you had to say. What is something else that you could have done or can do to help you sort out your emotions? Because earlier you said, I know I probably won't ever get an apology from her. So, being able to address the situation, looking for an apology in the end can't be the goal, right? Because you already said you're not going to get it. So, what can you do, or what can you say to get through the emotion of being hurt, knowing that it may never get rectified the way that you prefer it to? What can you do? What have you done in other situations to get yourself to the place of saying, you know what, I didn't get the apology, I didn't get this, but I'm okay now?
I think with that situation, just me accepting the fact that the apology likely won't happen, and just kind of trying to move forward in my processing of the situation would help, because then I wouldn't be so angry in holding on to the fact that I didn't get an apology. So me just accepting that, yeah, it happened. No, I can't go back and change it. No, they probably won't apologize, but it's okay. I still have to move forward. Yeah, they hurt me, but I still have to work on healing me. Um, it's I have to work on just healing moving forward. I think in future scenarios with other people, I just need to set my boundaries and let it be known. Like, this is what I'm going to accept, and this is what I'm not going to accept. And if you can't adhere to that, then we probably shouldn't be in a friendship or a relationship or whatever. We probably shouldn't be around each other. Um, but it's easier said than done. But that's what I think I need to do moving forward. That way it saves me hurt. Um, it saves me hurt moving forward. Yeah.
So, moving forward, being in that situation again, you said that you would address it with the person. If it doesn't work, accepting
Hmm.
that what has happened, you can't change it. You've done your part, and of course, that's not easy. That's going to come with learning how, right? Learning how to accept these hard things. Um, in life that comes our way, especially dealing with people that are close to us that we really love, right?
Hmm.
And you said a key word, which was hurt. Um, so it's not just being angry at what she said or did. It's not just the disrespect. It sounds like you were hurt in the situation as well.
Hmm. I was deeply.
Mhm.
Yes.
And in what ways did it hurt you?
Um, I think the way that the person chose to deal with the situation. I feel like if we were supposed to be as close as I thought we were, or that you said we were, that you should be able to come to me and speak to me, even if you're angry about something that's going on, regardless if it's your business or not. If there's something that you see that I may be doing or not doing, then you should be able to come to me and speak to me as friends or as an adult and be like, hey, this is what I see, this is what I think you should do. Ultimately the decision is yours, but this is what I would do, or this is what I think you went wrong, or whatever the case may be, right? But I think the way in which the person chose to deal with the situation was really hurtful to me, because I felt like what you said to me was, or what you how you were presenting yourself to me or how we were supposed to be was not what it was. Because then you should be able to speak to me about whatever it is, and we can resolve the issue. Or we can, discuss the solutions or whatever the case may be. But you didn't do that. You chose to take it to another space that it shouldn't have gone to.
Mhm. So sounds like also you're dealing with being violated
Yeah.
as well. When you say take it to another space, she violated the boundary that you all had set that you thought was there, but she actually went a whole nother way, which was not helpful in the situation because you guys wouldn't be in the place that you're in right now. And
Right.
so working towards undoing the anger, right? That's on your part. You are going to have to find the way that will help you the next time you're in this situation, that the anger from this situation don't continue on to the next, right?
Right.
So being upfront and honest with people when they offend you, when they're crossing the boundary, when they're saying things that are getting, like you say, taking you to that other space, standing up for yourself. I know it's hard, but you're going to have to put it within yourself the reasons why. Why is it so important for you to begin to deal with those emotions right at the start of when it's happening? And that's not rhetorical. I want you to answer, let me know, why is it important for you to begin to deal with those emotions as soon as you realize someone is shutting you down or crossing that boundary line or disrespecting you or is hurting you.
I think because it reinforces the respect that I have for myself, or that I should have for myself. So if I respect myself, then I shouldn't allow you to disrespect me. And so by me speaking up, it's letting you know, and it's letting myself know that this is not going to be tolerated. And even though I tolerated it in the past, moving forward, I can't continue to disrespect myself by allowing you to disrespect me. And so, yeah, I think that's why it's important, because
Mhm.
I'm letting myself know that I'm worth more than that. Like, I deserve better than that. So, yeah.
And do you really feel that way about yourself?
Now, yeah. Before, maybe not so much.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So if you were to, well, let me ask this question. When you approached the situation before, and she didn't respond back to you, uh, did you go into great details or were you just trying to open the door to get her to communicate? Like, how did that conversation go?
Um, I didn't really go into great detail. It was just like an apology. I guess it was trying to reestablish connection. Um, but I didn't really go into great detail. Honestly, looking back at it, I don't feel like I should have sent the email to even apologize. But um, I was just trying to reconnect so we can discuss the situation really, to see if it is solvable. Like if we can actually get back to where we were before it all happened.
Mhm. So you didn't really express your true feelings then. That's what it sounds like. If you just issued an apology and you weren't really in a place to give or feel like you owed an apology, but you gave it, that was not the truth of your emotions then. That's what it sounds like. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So how do you think you can fix that?
Fix the situation?
Yeah. If you issued an apology and it wasn't warranted, it was an unwarranted apology for something, a situation that happened, you issued an apology. The return you got on that was, I'm done. Don't speak to me. Leave me alone. Whatever that was. It left you in the same state you were in during the event and even after. And here you are some time later, still hurting, still wounded, trying to go on. You never fully communicated your concerns about the situation. Is
Hmm.
that right?
Hmm. That would be right.
So How important is it for you to be able to express those true emotions? You sent an apology that was shut down,
Mhm.
but you never expressed your true feelings. How important is that for you to express how you really feel?
Um, I think now it's just I'm to a space where it's like it really doesn't matter because one, I don't feel like saying it would really reach the person the way it should, maybe. I think it, the person hasn't been in my life in so long, it's just like whatever. I've kind of, I guess, become used to them not being there anymore.
Why are you
And
still angry? So why are you still angry about the situation and you can't forgive? What's holding you back from letting it go then and forgiving and moving on?
I think I'm still stuck on the way the situation was handled. Like I tell you, like the disrespect of it all. I, I, I haven't gotten past the fact that I was disrespected by that person and how it was. But I don't really feel like saying anything would solve or help anything at this moment.
So even if you don't get a solution from her, communicating about it and letting her know how it all made you feel, whether you get a response or not, sometimes you just need an outlet. And
Mhm.
one thing I want you to consider doing is writing a letter. It may not be like you actually hit send and send it to her, but writing a letter to disclose all of your emotions and all of your feelings about being disrespected, crossing the boundary, the betrayal of the friendship, just coming in and doing all that hurt that happened during that event, getting it out, right? So you can communicate it. Like I said, you may not have to push the send button to send it, but it's very important because it sounds like you never really fully communicated how all that made you feel. And once you get to a place where you can communicate it, then you can decide what you want to do with it. You can still hold on to it, or you can send it out. And even though you may or may not get a response because time has passed, maybe she will get a response if y'all were as close as y'all were. Maybe she's done some thinking, internal thinking. But communicating your emotions is very key to helping you move forward. So if that is the case, um, how do you feel about fully communicating to her how all that has made you to feel and how it's still affecting you?
Um, I think the idea of writing it out would help because at least I get it out of my system to where it's not ruminating inside of me anymore. I kind of like let it all out. I think that may help. I don't know that actually sending it will do anything, but again, I don't really know. But at this point, I'm to a space where I really don't want to reconcile with the person um, because of what happened and then the after effects of it all. Like they still haven't taken accountability for what they've done. They feel like they're right in it, and so I would write it out just so I can get it out of me and process it so I can move forward. But I wouldn't. I don't know that I would send it because I really don't want to speak to the person anymore.
Okay. And that's fair. That's fair because healing takes process. You're not going to just do something and you're healed overnight, right? It
Right.
takes some time and process. But what I would encourage you to do is think about the goals that you've set. You said that the next time someone puts me in a place or a space where I feel like I am getting angry or they're crossing the boundary or it's hurt, um, you're going to stand up for yourself. You're going to first realize your self worth and then stand up for yourself and speak to the situation, not allowing them to further belittle you, not further allowing them to disrespect you. So that's one goal that you mentioned. That's actually an excellent method, and that's going to come with time and practice. The second thing is communicating your true feelings, whether it's to that person or not, communicating your feelings so that you said releases you from it. right? And I want to encourage you to think about those methods and then start working on that. Write a letter, write an email, write it out how all of this made you to feel and hold it and hold it. And I share with some of my clients, hold it for about 3 days and see how you feel. And if you still don't know, give it another 4 days, right? But once you feel confident in your response, do something with it. Whether you keep it and say, you know what, I'm just going to leave it, or you can say, you know what, I think I am going to go ahead and send this. And then I'll be prepared for the response that I'll get on the other side of it because you now begin to process the whole matter of the situation.
Mhm. That's fair enough.
Yeah.
I understand.
So how do you feel about all of that? What do you think?
I think I'll take some time to really write out everything that I'm feeling. Everything, not just the surface of it all. Write it all out, and then, like you said, just sit on it and see how I feel. And if I feel like it would help me to feel a little bit better to send it, then I'll send it. But if not, then I'll just hold on to it or burn it, and move from there.
Actually, that's excellent. Burning, I've seen and heard people do that, and it has been proven that it does help with releasing the emotions. Um, is there anything else you can think of that would help you in the moment of going through the situation, or even applying it to another situation? Since you said this wasn't the first time you've been in a situation where you've allowed people to down belittle you and disrespect you, and you're not stand up for yourself, what else can you do the next time you're in that situation to eliminate that?
Um, I don't know. Like I said, just set my boundaries and stick to them. Um, don't waver on how I'm feeling or the boundaries that I set, depending upon who the person is. Like it should be a solid boundary. So just setting my boundaries and making sure that I adhere to my boundaries. Because if I don't adhere to them, then nobody else really will. So.
And this is actually true. One other thing I would like you to consider is doing a practice in therapy. Um, it's where you're speaking to this person. It's an empty chair, but you speak to this person, and you would tell this person, you're looking at the chair, how they've made you feel, how you're feeling now, and you're just really releasing those emotions, right? And then that's another way of, if you don't write it but you're expressing it, getting those emotions out,
Mm.
and then determining what's the next step, what's the next approach that you'll take. Another method that I can encourage you to do and try, and we can work through these through the sessions, is you speaking to yourself, saying, you allowed this to happen, this is how you're feeling, and then you speak back to yourself by saying, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have allowed that to happen. You're right. When I was angry, I felt this way. Right. When she said this to me, I felt this way. Next time, I'm going to respond this way. It's literally a communication to yourself, from yourself,
Mm.
but you're dealing with, and you're placing those emotions. You're getting them out, but you're literally physically not just thinking about it, but you're talking to yourself, and you're becoming comfortable with talking to yourself and having to feel through those emotions.
So like acknowledging it.
Yeah,
Really.
absolutely.
Okay. Okay.
So those are just a few methods that I wanted to share with you, that we can use in the upcoming sessions. You can actually even do them at home. And then when you come and see me next time, we'll talk about it. You give me, this is how it happened, this is how it made me feel, or it could be a progression note. And as you take hold of these moments of healing, because that's really what it is healing so that you can forgive, healing so that you can move on, healing so that you can regain your self-confidence and your inner strength and rebuild. um, write down your progression notes so that you can start to see that I am making progression and I'm working towards a goal. Okay.
Okay.
Well, thank you. Did you have any other questions?
I didn't, but I'll just work on the things that you told me.
Okay,
See
and
how.
how are you feeling right now?
Hopeful.
Good.
Hopeful. Mhm.
All right. Well, I will pencil you in. We'll same time next week is going to work for you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, great. All right. Well, I will see you next week.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.